Hello everyone, and welcome to Divine Debut 11. And this is Kathy speaking. I hope that you're all doing well. How is everyone? Today, the 22nd of August of 2025, it's actually 4:48 p.m. Greek time, so 2:48 p.m. UTC time on the 22nd of August of 2025, when we will be looking at a tarot reading relative to the peace talks and the war going on with Russia and Ukraine. Let's see if Donald Trump cannot bring them to the table and find the magical way to bring them together and to sign a peace deal. Okay, we know Donald Trump is very good with deals, and obviously I have been following the news as well myself, so it was very interesting with Trump and all the European Union leaders sitting around the Oval Office. But I also saw when they sat at that, long table, and each leader from Europe, they all stated what they want, because Europe, of course, Zelensky, we know that the European Union is on the side of Ukraine. Let's not just mention Zelensky, but the country of Ukraine. Now, this war has been going on for 3 years, and on my last upload, I did mention the my instinct is screaming out to me that because of Saturn and Neptune that are retrograding back into Pisces, I feel that they're leaving the sign of Aries, which is the sign of war, right? Remember, Aries is ruled by Mars, so we need to look at Mars. He's the war planet. So Mars now is transiting through Libra in a very weak sign, trying to find, stepping on eggshells, trying to find a way to come into peace. But there's the inability for that. Even though there are peace talks, I do feel because of Saturn and Neptune, I'm going to say it again, needing to go back to Pisces, we've still got something that is unresolved. I do feel that next year, this is my high self talking and not the tarot. And I've been actually, before I open cam, I have been doing my research, obviously with the countries' natal charts, the leaders. I've looked at Trump, Putin, Zelensky. I've looked at the countries, the US Sibley chart. I've looked at Russia's chart, at Ukraine's chart, and what's going on with the generally in the astrology, and everything is pointing to April, end of March, April, and in May. That's what we're looking at, I feel, because the astrology is pointing to that as well. And I've been doing my research on the astrology and the progressed planets, so on and so forth, of these individuals and their countries, their home countries. So I've done a whole lot, I've taken a whole lot of notes. I will be doing that analysis on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, do consider joining us. It will be on tier 3, but even if you're free on Patreon, you will have the option to purchase a one-off to receive that astrology analysis, which I will be doing very soon, in the next few days. Now, I'm going to do a divine spread, and we're going to see, we're taking the moonology, we're taking the black moon astrology, the universal love oracle, because that's what we're looking for, universal love and peace between countries, and the mythic oracle, of course, to see what the gods will be advising as well. So a divine spread, we'll see what happens here. I'm not going to be prejudiced that what I said is what will come through. Many of you do read the tarot, you're very experienced. So we'll see what comes through. Okay, we'll see what comes through. There can be opposing opinions. The astrology to me is talking about next year, that possibly the peace talks will fall through, and there are a few reasons why I'm saying that. First of all, the eclipses ahead, and the eclipses are hitting a few countries' charts. Let me just mention a couple. So Russia has its sun placement at 117 of Libra, and we know that the eclipse, the solar eclipse, the second consecutive new moon in Virgo, will be happening at the 29th anaretic degree of Virgo on the 21st of September. That is an amplified new moon, and remember, a new moon can culminate within 6 months, but it's hitting the sun of Russia, that eclipse, and it's going to be a very difficult eclipse. So I do see that Russia and Putin, of course, will be under a lot of pressure. What else is important? Yes, also for Ukraine, they have their sun at 1 degree of Virgo, which is where the new moon that's taking place in a few hours from now will be taking place. And that's a new moon. It's the first consecutive new moon in Virgo, and it is squared by Uranus and in opposition. It's the solar eclipse that's in opposition to Saturn. Nevertheless, it's a new moon, but it's going to be in a square, and it's got some challenging aspects to it. But the eclipse on the 21st, the second consecutive new moon in Virgo, will be a bummer. So yeah, it's not by chance, and usually when we have two new moons, as we're stepping into the Virgo season now in a few hours, and straight off the bat, Uranus will be squaring, the sun and the moon, the new moon in Virgo. There'll be twists and turns that we'll be seeing shortly. And Ukraine also have their Mars, the god of war. Their Mars is at 25 degrees of Virgo, and there has been an eclipse on their Mars. Eclipses are never easy. Okay. Now we've got so many air signs. Trump is a Gemini. Zelensky is an Aquarius. Putin is a Libra. Russia is a Libra. Okay, we've got the European Union, which is a Capricorn. So European Union is a bit of a tough cookie, and Ursula von der Leyen, who is the leader of the European Commission Union, she's a Capricorn as well, and Capricorn is Saturn ruled, and remember, Saturn is returning back to Pisces, so not in a strong position, obviously. And we've also got, the USA being a Cancer Sun, the European Union being a Capricorn Sun, so they're in opposition, the USA with the European Union. Now, Trump has been trying to be friendly with everyone, trying to bring everyone to the table, obviously, to, stop the killings. I don't know that he'll be able to pull it off yet. So speaking of so much air, and we know that the outer planets, Pluto, Uranus, they're in air, and we've got Saturn and Neptune also in fire. So we've been talking about, fire and air could be very explosive, very warlike. Mars, the god of war, is in debilitation. He's in Libra. He's trying to find the middle ground, but I don't know how easy that will be. Anyway, we'll be talking a lot about the astrology. We'll be looking at all these charts that I just mentioned. The European Union, Ukraine, Russia, USA, Trump, Zelensky, and Putin's charts. Now, I also have looked at the zodiac signs of the European leaders, all the leaders that met up with Trump. So we had Mark Rutte, the head of NATO, Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission. I should say Mark Rutte is an Aquarius. Ursula is a hold on. Oh, I said she's a Capricorn. No, I think she's got her moon in Capricorn. She's a Libra as well. Friedrich Merz, the Chancellor of Germany, a Scorpio. Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy. She's a Capricorn. She's a tough cookie. We saw her sitting across Trump with her arms crossed. Emmanuel Macron, he's a anoretic 29th degree of Sag, so almost a Scorpio. Almost a Capricorn. And we've got Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, Virgo. And Alexander Stubb, he's an Aries, the President of Finland. And I've got a feeling that the President of Finland is on the border with Russia. They are this country, or this country's leader, is going to play a major role in these peace talks. Anyway, we could be talking for so long. We'll be doing a lot of that on Patreon. So if you're interested in the astrology to understand as above, so below, right? The natal charts of the countries and of the leaders need to be looked at. As I said, I looked at the progress system as well to see where the planets of the leaders and the countries have progressed to. And I've got a lot that is very, very interesting. You might be interested in learning about that. So you must be a little bit aware of the astrology. You can't be a newbie, so you have to have some form of understanding, not be a brand new astrology enthusiast. You need to be a little bit progressed and more having followed astrology for a while. Let's see, what is the Karma Dharma at this time today, the 22nd of August of 2025. Just before that new moon, the first new moon in Virgo at that 0 first degree of Virgo. What is the Karma Dharma relative to peace or war? Now, Venus is still in the sign of Cancer, as is Jupiter. I do feel, because of course Cancer is the home country, right, where I reside. My home, my country, my land. And Jupiter can expand on the emotional side of these themes. But Venus is going to step into Leo, where she'll be more dramatic. She'll have more courage to take leadership. There will be possibly a lot of help. I do feel that we're getting to the peace talks, but I don't know if we can get to the final, to stop the wars fully and stop the killing. Because the pressure is on. Remember that all of the Europeans are asking for security guarantees for Ukraine, and they're all, even though I feel that Europe is in a weaker position than what the US is, obviously, and of course Russia seems to have the upper hand where the war between Ukraine and Russia is concerned. So I feel that this is Ukraine and Europe's last grabbing at straws, trying to get what they can and putting on the pressure. And I feel that they are going to put a lot of pressure on Donald Trump. And I feel that because just the fact that Putin is a 14-degree Libra, Mars is heading towards that degree, and the meeting between the three leaders, Trump, Zelensky, and Putin, will be very soon, probably around that first lunar eclipse in Pisces. and it is a lunar eclipse. In Pisces, a full moon around the 7th, 8th of September. So we'll see, because they want the meeting as soon as possible. But you know, Mars is coming up to the sun of Putin, and Mars in Libra can be very frustrated, right? Very frustrated. And we must, you know, acknowledge that, and I don't care about, you know, who's taking what side. I'm not on any side. I'm on the side of peace. That's what I want. I want the killings to stop. It's all about money, power, and land grabs. So I'm not going to take any sides. What I want is peace. So if I say something that steps on your toes, I apologize. I'm not wanting to do that. This is just, you know, a tarot reading and what I see through the astrology. So I'm not leaning towards any side. I've got my own personal opinion, and I'm not going to state that here, okay, in public. Those of you that know me more personally know what my opinion is. But above all, peace is what we're looking for. So let's see what is the Karma Dharma relative to what's going on with the war or the peace talks. Wow. Big changes, surely. This is Scorpio, and Scorpio is death and metamorphosis, and ending and change. Now, Scorpio is never easy. Remember, Scorpio, never ever easy. This is Pluto. Pluto means riches, means the money that come from third parties, and we know also that Zelensky and Ukraine did have a lot of financial support from left, right, and center, but it wasn't enough for Ukraine to be able to win the war. I mean, you know, the Russia is a big country. It is a very powerful country, and Scorpio, okay, Scorpio. This could be talking to the Scorpio season, and you could see that what I see here is that this Plutonian energy is carrying a black flag. That's not a good sign off the bat, straight off the bat. So I do feel that, and we know that a death process takes time. It takes time. And there have been a lot of lost lives, a lot of people that have lost their lives, families that have been destroyed. And remember that Pluto in Scorpio also means riches, but power as well. Now, Pluto is retrograding at the first degrees of Aquarius. Remember also that Uranus is at the first degrees of Gemini, and will return back to Taurus. Taurus is resources, land, whatever the land gives as well. Same with Scorpio. It's big amounts of money. It's black money, right? It's a lot of mysteries, a lot of secrets, a lot of powerful pulling the strings. So the fact that Uranus will go back to Taurus and will not return to the early degrees of Gemini, that won't be till next year. Pluto will be at the first degrees, yes, because he's retrograding now. But also remember, as I said, Saturn and Neptune will also go back to Pisces. So what we want is the early degrees of fire, which would be Aries in this case, next year again, 20th of February. Neptune and Saturn will connect at the 1st degree of Aries, which is the world axis, which is the first degree of the zodiac. Very powerful degree, which this hasn't happened for hundreds of years. I don't even know. You may have heard other astrologers talking about thousands of years back. Conjoining, these two power players, Saturn and Neptune, at the first degree, the first degree of Aries, which speaks to a brand new beginning, a powerful new beginning. And that will be supported, yes, from the air signs, from Pluto in Aquarius at the early degrees, and from Uranus in Gemini at the early degrees. And we've mentioned early degrees of Libra. For example, we spoke to Russia. Russia's sun at, almost 2 degrees of Libra. Okay? But it's never easy also when an eclipse hits a country's sun. The sun, remember, is the leader of the country. So Putin is going to be hit by the very powerful solar eclipse, the second new moon in Virgo on the 21st of September, which, remember, new moons complete in 6 months. So if September is the 9th month, we've got we're talking about late March next year when that will culminate. But remember, eclipses can last longer than just a full moon, because eclipses are full moon, new moons, as well as eclipses. So calling on our spirit guides, let's stop the astrology right now. This for me is not a good sign, because it's a process, remember. It's a process. Scorpio means big changes, fundamental changes, things going on in the background, power struggles, mysteries, fears. Remember that Scorpio is also ruled by Mars and Pluto, 2 malefic planets. Dear Spirit, please guide us and give us the understanding. Will the peace talks happen? Will we come to a peace agreement very soon in the future? In September, will there be a peace agreement and the ending of the war of Russia and Ukraine finally after 3 years of battle? Let's see. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for your guidance. Let's take 3 cards first of all. Let's see what the general gist is. 8 of Cups. Someone emotionally not finding their happiness and walking away. We've got the Fool card, and this could be a powerful new beginning. It could also be, because it's a major arcana, signifying the Aries season next year, when there will be a new beginning and when Saturn and Neptune do return. But someone may walk away because they may feel as though they're being deceived or trying to be tricked or even manipulated. That's what Scorpio is, about manipulation. We've got Judgment, a big moment of crisis. Yes, this speaks to second chances and a resurrection, but this would be and again, we've got the energy of Pluto. Pluto, right? Pluto, Scorpio again. And of course, this is when, Spirit says there will be a resurrection, but we'll be waiting on that. Now, there are second chances, but we still see those people in the coffins, coming to some sort of an end, big changes, big fundamental changes, and a resurrection possibly in the future. Now, what's interesting is we've got Aries, we've got Uranus. Aries is Mars ruled, and well, you could see this as the bigger picture, or you could see it as past, present, future. And Uranus, remember, now with the first new moon, we've got Uranus squaring off with the new moon. So something can happen suddenly, and it's a turn, a twist, a sudden change. Let's see what the Fool is sitting on. And again, this could promise to when Saturn and Neptune return back to that 0 first degree of Aries. We've got the hanging man. You see, look at that. We've got Pisces, Aries energy here. But I would say also that this is what I see through a reading, and we've got so many majors here. The devil and difficulties, challenges, karma, timing. And Saturn is returning back to Pisces. You could see this is like going back. And now the European Union is a Capricorn. And let's see. Anyway, I'll leave that. I was just thinking to look at, because obviously, you know, this is not in the hands of just Ursula von der Leyen, but all the European Union. But I do feel that leaders are playing a major role. So I do, if I remember right, her moon is in Capricorn, so she is a tough cookie, and she's been a very powerful woman. She holds a very powerful position. This could say that it's the European Union that's walking away, that they're not agreeing, but I'd also feel that Putin may also be very stressed out and pushed to the limit where he's going to get very angry, I feel. Yeah, this needs to come to an end. Of course, the world going through a resurrection. And remember that it's very powerful, the fact that we will have Saturn and Neptune on that 0 degree in the sign that is ruled by Mars. Next year in February, that's very close to the Aquarius season, because we've also got, Uranus rules Aquarius. We've got Saturn here as well, both rulers of Aquarius. We're going to have a major lineup of many planets in Aquarius. It's like a twist. 2026 from 1962, when we had a major lineup in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius. Aquarius is the people, it's humanity. I do feel that there will be a big change, but that to me is not coming yet. There needs to be a resurrection, but before the resurrection, there's still more loss of life. There's still more loss of life because of war. This is a Mars card. Let's see what the main spread speaks to. Could you share this video with others? It does help the channel get the message out. Now, whether we're right or we're wrong with the outcome doesn't really matter. We're giving it a shot. That's it. Now, let's see, dear Spirit, what's going on? What's the foundation? What is the root? We've got the Ace of Cups. This is a very positive sign, obviously. And remember, we're not reading reversals. Love is the root of the issue. Love, togetherness. Remember, Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is the world. It's the communities. It's Pluto bringing the power to the people and not to the few, the elite, right? The rich and the powerful. So that's the root of the issue here. Can we come from a place of heart, a place of peace? Because this is the holy grail that Spirit hands the world. Are we going to come from a place of heart, come together and understand that we don't take anything with us at the end of the day? Or are we going to be on the darker side, where power, riches, death, and all those negative words are concerned, negative words, emotions? Remember, the world has come to a point where things need to change, and change is never comfortable. It's very uncomfortable, but that will lead on to a resurrection and a brand new world, and that's what Pluto in Aquarius is promising. What is hidden relative to peace talks? What is hidden? We've got a Knight of Swords. Someone is rushing in. It could be an Aquarius individual. Someone is rushing, trying to catch up with time. It's like someone is trying to hurry hurry towards a situation. This is what is hidden and what we don't know. Let's look at the recent past. We've got the Queen of Swords, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Queen of Swords, remember, Libra is about peace talks. Libra is about coming to the table and coming to peace, trying to find the peace. Now, of course, Queen of Swords could be an important female, strong Libra placements. I didn't even look into Melania Trump, into her chart, but I don't know who this is. This could be someone that is going to be very fair and just, or she could be someone that is a very strong truth speaker, which could be playing a very major role. What's going on in the now? We've got the Wheel of Fortune, and we've got Jupiter, and Jupiter is wonderful. This is a wonderful sign. The Wheel of Fate is turning. Remember, this is a 10, which turns into an ace. Now, Jupiter is transiting through the sign of Cancer, and has, a few days ago, has conjoined with Venus, which rules Libra, in the sign of Cancer. And remember that the Sibley chart of the USA is a Cancer. So that conjunction, you know, Venus, Jupiter, and Sirius, there was a triple conjunction at a 14-15 degree, very close to the sun placement of the US. Okay, but the thing is that we've got eclipses ahead, which are uneasy times. Eclipses can be helpful, or they can be hindering. Whatever it is, it's fated, it's eventful, it's what God wants for the world collectively. Okay, so that triple conjunction happened once in Cancer and will re-happen again early June, 9th of June next year, but not with Sirius. It will be at the 25th degree, and I'll be talking about that because it holds a very significant position. Just off my memory, the progressed lunar north node of the US and Trump's Venus. That's when the success can happen, the peace talks, roughly there. May, even up to early June. So that's what I see so far. The Wheel of Fate does bring changes. What are the changes? Remember, Jupiter is someone that could see the bigger picture. Jupiter is wisdom, it's clarity, it's philosophy, it's the law, you know, natural law. It's politics, it's anything judiciary, it's anything to do with the law as well. But it also has to do with foreigners, foreign lands, and beliefs. Do these leaders believe that they can be successful? There is divine source help, and there is protection because Jupiter is in Cancer. That's a very powerful placement of Jupiter. So let's see. There we go. There's a difficult sign. So we've got a couple of 10s here, and the 10 of Swords is crowning the reading, which feels like a sense of betrayal, backstabbing, things going on behind the scenes. 10 of Swords is the darkest before the dawn. Yes, it could feel very, very heavy. Of course, this is a 10 which turns into an ace, and the Ace of Swords is victory, a possible victory, but also clearing out anything that's dark, anything that was hurtful, any ill will, right? But I feel that a lot will be going on behind the scenes that won't even be talked about through mainstream media. That is a certainty. So a lot of things, and that's what happens with wars. So much happens behind the scenes that really the public don't find out about it until much later on, sometimes never. So the crowning position is the 10 of Swords. That's not an easy card. What is the action and advice? We've got the 6 of Pentacles. This could speak to a payout. This could speak to a very karmic situation. Remember, Libra, Six of Pentacles shows the scales. So this is karma dharma. What we've done, what we've earned, what we've worked on, we will earn. What we need, what is our due diligence to pay, will be paid, and that's concerning, obviously, the peace talks. So you give me this and I'll give you that. Remember, in this deck, in this card, we've got the person who's got the money, who's able to pay and support others, is giving more to one side than the other. So it's got a lot to do with exchanges, obviously. Let's see what the possible outcome is, because this could be a karma or a dharma card. With one card, you never can know. What is the possible outcome? Will there be peace talks? Will there be an ending to the killing? No. Four of Cups. Possibly not. Possibly, more than possibly not. Because the Four of Cups, look at the frustration. Look at that frustration. That is, what else can I do? What else can I do? Someone emotionally is unhappy. There's no acceptance, right? Remember that there's the Four of Cups is, of course, it's the Holy Grail that is being offered from Spirit for this new beginning, but she's looking elsewhere. And we see that, okay, I mean, we've got Four Cups here. Four Cups, these could be, I mean, this could be Russia, Ukraine, and the European Union. The Ace of Cups there, that is, you know, that hasn't been able to be seen. It's like a missed opportunity. That could be the US and Trump, the side of Trump. Let's see how the stars help or hinder. The Page of Pentacles, which says that there's more study, more work to be done. Remember that the Page of Pentacles, he's looking at this Ace of Pentacles, which is something long-term and something that can give security long-term. But we're only at the position of, you know, the juvenile energy. It's too early, let's say. And he's also trying to stand on one foot. He's trying to balance on one foot, which he can't do for too long, right? We've got the Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, let's say. Queen of Cups, someone that's very loving, nurturing. The Queen of our Hearts, maybe, and remember, pages can also be children. I'm wondering if this could not be Melania Trump, who's a very powerful person, who could play a role, because I remember there was something on the news relative to the children, and that she's sort of playing a role in the peace talks and trying to, through love, through nurturing, and through that motherly energy, which is also Cancer, where Jupiter and Venus are still. That could be something that could possibly play a major role. Water is psychic ability. I don't know if, obviously, I'm going to say that, you know, it's funny that some people that don't believe the astrology, they say, you know, how come the wars begin when there's a difficult, challenging astrological aspect like, you know, Uranus and Mars conjunction or a square? How come this happens? No, they obviously, you know, politicians follow the astrology and they know when to make their moves. Well, as above, so below. You need to believe what it is that speaks to you. Trust your intuition. But I like the fact that we've got the Queen of Cups here, and she is very much about bringing the children together. You know, she's a queen. She's got the ability to bring the peace, to bring the sensitivity, to open up other doors, let's say. We've got water and earth water and earth, we can start to build on something that's more stable, solid ground. Water, earth make mud. Let's see. And we've got the Two of Pentacles, where things will be up in the air, choices, trying to find the middle ground, the balance. Twos are decisions, they are dilemmas, they are adjustments that need to be made. I do feel it's going to be a longer road. I don't think it's going to be such an easy moment. Yes, it's hard, but I truly, even with the Four of Cups as the outcome card, there will be missed opportunities. It's like maybe the next time around, because the Four of Cups obviously comes after the Three of Cups, which is everyone coming together. Yes, celebrating that they're hoping to find the peace, but I don't feel that they are really ready to give up what they need to give up, because there need to be sacrifices. And remember, Pisces is about sacrifice and release, and Saturn and Neptune will return to Pisces to close up a major collective life cycle. And we've got Judgment. What's beneath that? And we've got the World card, and we've got the Hierophant. A Hierophant is a contract, of course. The Hierophant is an agreement. It's something that we sign. The Hierophant also is Taurus. And remember, Uranus in Taurus is not finished. So he's putting pressure. You know, Uranus is going to retrograde back to Taurus at the late degrees of Taurus, and will affect all the fixed signs. And we've got a few people that have got, they're a few of the world leaders, the fixed signs. Usually they are very powerful people. So we've got Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. So possibly the completion may come when Uranus will finally, and we'll be talking about that, because I noticed something with the charts, for a few charts actually, that Uranus returning back to Gemini and not returning back to Taurus. That will be the new story. That's when this will end. And of course, we can speak to a religious war, because of the Pisces energy, right? Neptune, Saturn in Pisces. Pisces is about religion. Jupiter is also about our beliefs, what we grew to believe, religion, yes. So, these have turned into religious wars as well, very fanatical. Lots of the wars that have broken out in the world are about, religion. And that's a theme that we've been seeing with Neptune and Saturn transiting through Pisces. It's very unfortunate for humanity. Okay, we've got the Page of Cups. This is like a very small offer, an unexpected, trying to, come to a peace deal here to complete. But there's still a moment of crisis. This is a dilemma, and these are choices. And there are also second chances. And when Archangel Michael will toot his horn, that will be the time to resurrect humanity. Let's get more information. Let's see what the Monology is talking about and advising. And I'm using the Monology because we're on the precipice of a new moon in Virgo, which is happening in a few hours. And then we've got two following eclipses, which are also pointing back to 2006 and 7. We've got very similar eclipses as back then. But also, I can't remember, we'll be talking about it on Patreon, that the astrology is also pointing back to, yes, the pressure that Putin is under is pointing back to 2014. Some cycle began for Putin back in 2014 when we had the first issues between Ukraine and Russia. And in 2025, Putin is under a lot of pressure right now. It's Saturn squaring Saturn squaring Jupiter, is it? I can't remember off. Saturn squaring Jupiter. He's going to be going through. Let me just give you a heads up on that just quickly, because I don't want to give you wrongful information. It's transiting Jupiter will be on his Uranus 3 times, and that could be, you know, Jupiter will expand on everything it touches. Yes, transiting Jupiter squares his natal Saturn, and that is happening 3 times, now in August, in January, and then in April. All dates are pointing towards a lot of pressure at the now and forthcoming until the new astrological year, roughly. So let's see what the lunations how they will help or hinder. Let's get some advice. Let's go. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. That is pointing to March of next year. And that should no doubt be an eclipse, because the eclipses are still happening on the axis Pisces and Virgo. What else? Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. That will be, of course, we've obviously had the new moon in Leo since we're coming up to the new moon in Virgo. So a month ago, confidence is the key to success. And of course, we know that Leo is leaders. We know also that Trump has got Leo rising, right? Yeah, Leo rising. And interesting, of course, since, Trump has got his ascendant at the last and erratic degree of Leo, on Regulus, of course, that new moon will be on the ascendant of Trump. So the lion is Leo, and that's what we've got. We've got Trump that's got ascendant in Leo. Just quickly looking, we've also got Zelensky that's got a moon placement in Leo, but Zelensky has shown a lot of courage. I would even say madness, because obviously we know that the people of Ukraine don't want to go to war anymore. They don't want to fight anymore. So whether it's courage or madness, I'll leave that up to you. You can decide. Let's see. And we've got, look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. That will be in the Gemini season. So in June, end of May and into June, that will be the bigger picture, and that's when the target will be hit. Can you see the bow and arrow here? Someone's racing to catch up to that, but it's going to take time, I feel. Let's see what's at the bottom. We've got surrender to the divine, full moon. Something is culminating, something is completing, and something will be also lit up. Remember what I said before about surrender? The hand of spirit has got, it's not in our hands, it's in the hand of spirit. Whatever's going on, it's all fated. It's all meant to happen in the way it's happening, my dear friends. And some of you are going to say, but why do all those souls need to die? Why? That's something that we cannot answer, unfortunately. Let's see what the black moon astrology. And of course, we're still in a black moon as after this new moon in Virgo. Give it 2-3 nights when you could see the little new moon cusp in the sky. Right now there's a black moon. It's all dark. How does the astrology help or hinder the peace talks? South Node and life's debts. There's something that someone owes, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Russia, whatever. This is a Saturnian energy. The South Node is discomfort. It's excretion. It's getting rid of the toxicity. And that's what, this is Saturnian energy, surely. So we need to get out of our comfort zone and follow the North Node collectively. That is in Pisces. And Pisces is a Jupiterian sign, right? What else do we have? We've got void of course moon, and something's missing. Something will be missing. There's a sense of quiet or secrecy or feeling a sense of loss, or nothing's moving. Void of course moon. That's of course when the moon changes signs but does not do any aspects. It's like being in a vortex with a void of course moon. And it's interesting, we've got a 42 and a 52. 52. Putin is born in 1952. Okay. That could be some sort of a sign. 42. Well, Trump is born in 46. We've got number 28. 28 and fourth house and roots. So whatever's happening, because the fourth house speaks to stability or the past. We see the tree, we see the birthing, we see the baby on the tree. So these themes, this war has got a lot to do with past matters, and we're still in the Cancer season. What am I saying? We've got Jupiter and Venus still in Cancer, and we've got retrogrades, which is taking us back to the past. Fourth house, remember, also speaks to my homeland. And the fourth house is the natural Cancer sign. So remember what I said, Jupiter and Venus will be conjoining again next year on the progressed north node of US, which could be a success, and on the Venus and Saturn of Trump. All right, just looking at my notes a little bit. What's at the bottom here? And we've got North Node and life's purpose. So you see we've got the South and the North Nodes. And therefore, whatever's happening is karmically orchestrated. The general energy is that the collective needs to move towards the North Node, which is in the sign of Pisces. Unconditional love. We've got nothing that should separate us. We need to come together. We need to surrender. We need to release any hurtful feelings. We need forgiveness is necessary. What's happened has happened. And Pisces also speaks to illusion, deception. But remember, again, I'm going to say that Saturn and Neptune will return back to Pisces as the story has not finished yet. Life's purpose. This is the collective. This is the collective message. Let's put these away. No, it's not working for me. Let's just put these down. Okay, let's take a message from universal love before we take more cards here. Someone is needing to surrender, and if both sides are not willing to surrender, we will not be able to come to a peace agreement. What is the universal love message? Earth connection, and there's the tree again. And the earth has got to do with Aquarius, humanity. We're the inhabitants of this earth. Do we want what's good for this earth? Earth connection means a connection, but in reality that whatever the earth provides then should be there for everyone. But earth also speaks to stability. I feel that this is a very good sign. Remember, earth is also very slow and the roots go very deep. So whatever's going on, there's a lot of karma. It's connected to the past, I would say. As long as we're coming from a place of heart, a place of love, and knowing that we all inhabit this earth. We'll read from the booklet at the end, but let's take more cards and see what is going on. Okay, let's take a Lenormand card on each position just to get more details. I feel that the general message is what I thought from the beginning. Having the Two of Pentacles up in the air and then the Four of Cups as the outcome card doesn't look like it's something that could possibly happen in the now. What is this Ace of Cups about? Give me more clarity. And we've got the Bear. It's like a powerful figure trying to bring people together. This is what I get. But sometimes, you know, because I do get great similarity between the Queen of Cups and the Bear and the Ace of Cups. Now the Bear could be a masculine or a feminine. So again, I'm going to point to Melania Trump again, because the Bear could also be a motherly figure. If that's not the case, then that's fine, but someone who needs to be very courageous, someone who could be also someone that's short-circuited, they get upset really quickly. But you know, the Bear also, remember that Russia is signified, is personified by the Bear. Don't make the Bear angry, right? So I don't know, is there a possibility that Melania can reach the compassion of Putin if that is the case? Let's take one more on the Bear. And we've got the Dog. Loyalty, friendship. Friends in powerful places. Loyalty, play, lightening up the energies. Friend or foe, I'm going to say here. Sudden twists. The Dog is like a puppy. Like he's giving the leash to the Bear. So someone is sort of trying to come from a place of love, a place of loyalty, and let's be friends. But then we've got the Bear. We've got the Bear and the Dog. So I get opposing energies here, potentially, for this new beginning. Let's see what the Knight of Swords in the hidden position will show us. We've got the Book. A lot of information that's missing or that's secretive. Someone's trying to do their homework quickly. They're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, trying to catch up, to reach something, to see things from an elevated point of view. But it's as though Spirit is saying, no, not yet. There are lots of secrets. This is a Pisces card. Aquarius, Pisces. But again, to me, this points to next year. There are things that are very well hidden. We've got the anchor here. Someone's not going to make it. It's like the information is out of bounds, or that the book is closed. The story is closed right now. And, you know, the anchor could speak to business, but also stability, right? Remember the earth connection. Because the anchor can also speak to humbling, getting stuck, because there's no agreement. The book is closed for now. There's more work to be done, possibly. Let's look at this Queen of Swords, because I feel that she may be, and we see women, we see, you know, divine feminine having power here, playing a major role. Let's see who the Queen of Swords is. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles would be a mother, would be the spouse as well, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, more so Capricorn, Virgo. Could be a Virgo, Libra, cusper. Choices, 2 doors, a decision, a ruling. Let's take one more. Or even opportunities in the recent past. But we've got the Tower, which speaks to limitations. The door is closed. The Tower in the Lenormand is Saturn in Capricorn. There are delays. Saturn in Capricorn is a tough cookie as well. Speaks to authority, solitude, isolation, ego, and arrogance sometimes as well. She may be dealing with other arrogant individuals, or the choices or the right door, the opportunity, the portal will open, but it's delayed, because this can be a ruling as well. Let's see, because interesting, if this is Libra, there's Venus and we've got Jupiter. Their conjunction, maybe the second time round, the second portal, next early June. Let's see what the Wheel of Fate speaks to in the now. Yep, there's the whip. This is like arguments. This is like, let's get into a punch-up. We're conflicted. There's conflict of interest here, and it's an 11. 11 is also justice. Very karmic, very karmic. Disagreements. This is my opinion, my truth, that's your truth. Lovely. We've got possible good news about a new beginning. That, as you could see here, we've got the rider, and the rider is Mercury in Gemini. It can speak to cycles though, because, you know, it's like the wheel is like a cycle as well, and she's riding on a, you know, on a very positive wave, you know, the rainbow. But don't forget, she's also on a merry-go-round, where she's gone around again and again. This can speak to news, anything legal. It speaks to a lot of messages, a lot of news, a lot of activity, a lot of energy. But because we've got Mercury and Jupiter here. Let's see what the following Lenormand speaks to with the 10 of Swords. We've got another divine feminine. She would be more my Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Cups, right? And she's holding an open book. Open book. She's grounded. She's down to earth. She's patient. She's what you see is what you get. Or she's studying something. She's looking at something closely. Interesting that it's a 29, and that's when we're going to have the second new moon solar eclipse. It's going to be a total at the 29th degree of Virgo, which will affect also, remember, the chart of Russia, the sun of Russia, and also the sun, well, the sun of Ukraine. The new moon tomorrow on the 23rd will be on the sun of Ukraine. Let's take another one. And there are the choices still, the bridges. This is trying to bring, you know, the water under the bridge, bridge the gaps. There are dilemmas. We've got the bridges here. We've got the doors here. These are adjustments. These are dilemmas, and these could be disagreements, right? Oh, let's see. What is this about in the action and advice? The Six of Pentacles. We've got another powerful divine feminine. She could be a fire sign or an air sign. She's also got a strong Venus placement, more than likely. So it could be Libra. She could be the same person, or could be the same person, yes. In some cases, yes. In other cases, no. Because they could also be different people, because they've got their back-to-back. So they could be in a duel, in a competition, competitive energies. But she's also someone that's very passionate, very action-based, very attractive. She doesn't sit back and wait, because here we've got someone that's more grounded, more stable, more earthy. More what you see is what you get, whereas here there's more temperament, there's more, it could be, you know, if there isn't a return on what she's hoping for, she could possibly get angry. Let's see. Let's take one more. This could also be the energy of Venus entering Leo. That there could be some back and forth energies here. We've got a King of Swords here. So it's an air sign. Could be an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. Look, this is this is like help coming from above, from spirit. The lilies. Lily is a beautiful card. It's a number 30, and 30 it's a wintry energy, but also it speaks to Chiron in Virgo. So an open wound, something that needs healing, but through practical matters. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, because this is also a very strong sexual card. It's a card of wisdom, ethics, virtues, sexuality, and morality. So themes such as these could be playing out here. And remember that there could be a lot that's going on behind the scenes that we have no idea about. This could also be a promise, for the future, a promise that there will be divine source help, that there will be some truths. King of Swords is someone that speaks their truth, or they sever through the illusion. Let's see. And we've got a 21 again, the Mountain. The Mountain is Mars in Aries. We'd love to have Mars in Aries, but unfortunately he's not. He's in a very weak position in Libra. This speaks to difficulties, problems, hurdles, challenges, and obstacles, because something needs to complete. And again, it's a 21. You know, sometimes, you know, there are other themes that may be coming up where there's, you need to wait a little bit longer. There are other urgent matters that the world leaders need to get to. There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes that people are not aware of. But what I see here is that there is belief, that there is the desire to come to a place of, collaboration, working together, smoothing out the creases, ironing out the creases. But there are limitations still. Let's look at the Four of Cups. Yep. We've got the child, and the child can speak to naivety or a promise or of a new cycle. It's a 13, which is also the death card. 13 is Scorpio. It means changes. It means a possible new change after an ending. Yep. We've still got the snake, and the snake can speak to the enemy. It's Pluto in Scorpio. It's something planned. Yes, it could be Pluto in Scorpio. It speaks to deception, seduction, desire, craving, forbidden knowledge as well. And possible deceptive things going on behind the scenes, and in behind closed doors. And I'm talking about physical connection as well, because not only money is paid out and shared, and there are deals of money I will give you this, you give me that, whether it's money, whether it's land, whether it's important materials, you know, whether it's precious stones or precious land, whatever it is. There's also the theme of sexuality here and things going on behind closed doors. And we know that the snake could be also the forbidden fruit. Someone using their sexuality to get to a particular outcome. You know, nothing will stop them. We've got the moon. 8 of Cups. And the moon is the 8 of Cups. No, remember the first 3 cards? Someone is not coming to a peace deal because there are still, this is like hidden enemies. Someone that's playing the innocent, but they are very much about deception, very much about, because this is, you know, the snake is moon in Cancer. So I'm wondering if this is not going to talk to the next new moon in Cancer. It could also be the full moon in Cancer in the Capricorn season. Well, 4 cups, that could be April, May, June, again, pointing to that time. But there is a lot of deception, a lot of things that are very hidden. Okay, and the snake, I should say the moon. The moon, being moon in Cancer, speaks to the subconscious, the intuition, fears, desires, fantasy, and emotions. But there are things that are hidden. There's a lot that we don't know that may be revealed. That could be, there could be deception that will be revealed, and that's why someone's giving up. This is like someone throwing their hands in the air and saying, this ain't gonna happen now. Let's look at the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the 2 of Pentacles. The clouds. The clouds clear and some messages come through, some clarity about a new cycle or another cycle, because the Queen of Cups on the Queen of Cups. Someone needing to travel, to go somewhere, and being at an indecision about that. And the dice, and the dice is on the Two of Pentacles. Someone needing to go somewhere, to trust, to open up a new cycle, to take a chance and not win, or take a chance and lose. The dice, everything's on the table. There are still dilemmas, there are still adjustments. I feel that someone is going to fear taking this chance because of the earth connection. I feel that someone is not, it's like too much of a risk. Too much of a risk that's coming through. And of course the dice could speak to someone that goes to the someone that goes often to the casino, or someone that's just very much a risk taker. Let's take one more on those dice. King of Pentacles. See, someone wants to know that they're standing on stable ground. King of Pentacles could be, it's strong earth, but this would be like the Emperor. So, see, there's too much confusion, too much to pay, too much of a cost right now, because Pisces is the illusion. We've still got the Pisces season with Saturn and Neptune going back, needing to release, needing to complete something. So again, the Pisces season comes through again. So the Pisces time. So we'll see, because of course the fish do speak to abundance, but also Pisces is about surrender. Maybe this is too much of a big gamble for someone that does gamble, right? Or the themes that are unclear right now. But there is a window of opportunity here that needs to be grabbed quickly. And it's the Six of Pentacles, which we've also got here with the action and advice. You know, the clover is not something that happens every day. It is Jupiter in Sagittarius. It speaks to luck and opportunities, but it doesn't last long. It's only a very short time. And there are the masks, you see. And the masks. Jupiter in Sagittarius is about the truth, so maybe some masks are going to fall very soon, and that will sort of help the decision of what's going on and what's going to happen, what can happen. I want to just get some info from the Sevilas on the outcome here. And then we will take the Universal Love Guidebook and see what the message Earth Connection means. And then the Mythic Oracle. Let's see what's going on here. We've got Donna de Servizio, which is the helper. It is a Virgo card. There is a possible collaboration here. This is someone's right hand. And remember, Virgo is someone that does the work behind the scenes, not someone that's up on stage. We've got the Gran Signore. The Gran Signore would be the king. Of course, Scorpio. This could be Scorpio. This could be Taurus. So Scorpio, Taurus, any sign. But the Gran Signore is someone that's very rich, someone that's very generous, someone that stands in a very high position. So this is a king, obviously, a king or a president. Now, of course, Scorpio comes through because it's the number 13. Now, Putin, Scorpio, Putin has ascendant in Scorpio. So I don't know if that is Putin, actually. Anyway, you know, many things can come out of that because the progressed planets as well of the leaders, we could say they've, you know, as the planets progress, so do we. So we grow and mature, and so do the planets. So we do take on other energy, and I think, yes, I remember Trump's progressed moon is in Scorpio as well, which is a difficult moon placement, but in 3 months, 3 months roughly, his moon, 3 or 5 months, his moon will enter Sagittarius, so it'll be a very different energy. So we see this is a leader's right hand female, which we've seen some females here which could be playing a major role. We'll see. And what else? We've got the death card. We've got more than 5 of swords. See, he's turning his back on this fight, on this even danger zone, I'm going to say, because there is, and we've heard a lot from many astrologers that Trump could also be under some danger. I did, looking at his progress chart, saw that there are some scary spots, some dangerous spots. So he needs to be very careful instead of taking such a risk and not take a risk with his life. But he's turning his back on an ending because there's a death here. There's an ending. We've got the 5 of swords, and that's, you know, someone who's got the gift of the gab, someone that can win over the situation. But this death process is a process. Remember what I said. It takes time. So big changes, big changes. Oh, and look at the superbia. Look at the vanity and, well, if not vanity, it's pride and it's abundance. It's great abundance. Something superb. And something very something very precious, something, the peacock is it speaks to abundance, luck, spirituality. It's God sent. So after change, after an ending, there could be pride. I mean, but I do feel that it's not going to happen yet, even though there is a right hand helper here, more than likely a female. Now, I know there are many females around if this is Trump. I don't know about Putin, but there's something about, through intelligence, because only an intelligent mind, and we've got a few air signs. So who could this be? Someone that's riding high, that will be very proud and is very abundant. So could be any. Could be any. I'll leave it up to you. Maybe you know more than what I do. Let's just take a couple of cards here on the divine position. We've got pensiero, someone thinking very much about contracts, agreements. It's the hermit energy. It is Virgo season that we're coming into, and eclipses on the axis, Virgo, Pisces. We've got amore. A lot of thought about amore. Amore is coming to love, coming into an agreement, obviously. Loving thy neighbor. Coming to an agreement. And of course, he holds the bow and arrow again. And then we've got La Matrice. La Matrice is very much like this fire sign or air sign. She could be any sign, but could also be Pisces, I'm going to say. I don't know, but she's holding something precious in her hand, and it's something that she desires, or something that's rich, or something that is of great value. And this could also, because it's a 12, and 12 speaks to Pisces. Remember, Pisces is where the surrender and the release and the ending of a major cycle will be happening. So maybe this is what's really precious to this female, which we've spoken about females, and she's on the Queen of Cups. So take that as another indication. And she's right next to a child, because amore is also children. So that could point back to Melania again. Or this could be someone that's very powerful, that's very self-centered, someone that's probably has internal conflict, whether they should do the right thing or do what's right for them, because she also has her back turned to the child. Take the messages as they resonate, my dear friends. I do see a lot of water and a lot of earth here. So we spoke about that before. A lot of water, a lot of earth could be very grounding. Also, Spirit giving us the opportunity for being able to, start to build on a new foundation. Let's look at Earth Connection and read what it's about. EA. Oh, don't even know my alphabet. So Earth Connection says, be taken in by the warm and loving embrace. The loving embrace of Mother Earth. Draw into her and draw her into you. Enter her cave for healing, nurture, and restoration. Dive into her waters for renewal. Stand in her rain for cleansing. Weather her fires for absolution. Be reborn in nature. Breathe her air and be filled with her. Beneath your feet, she supports you. Listen and know the deep pounding of her heart. You are part of nature, in no way separate from her. Love her and know her love. Allow your concerns to dissolve into the earth and realize a clearer perspective. Let your heart and mind be moved by the unerring pulse of love and life that resounds from the core of our world. Feel its deep and constant vibration. Nourish every part of you. Be healed by nature's wise and loving heart. It's like, the earth is talking to us. Seriously, what we humans do to it. Let's take what the gods have got to advise. I do get very strong Taurus with the earth connection. Well, Taurus is the most fixed sign of all, but of course Virgo and Capricorn, of course, they're earth signs as well. Because I just noticed the shell, the synodic cycle of Venus and the Sun. So Venus conjunction with the Sun. Also, what I wanted to just look at here is, let me get this right, is the next Venus star point. Venus Sun conjunction will be where? So, okay, January 6th of 2026, we're going to have a Venus Sun conjunction at 1622 of Capricorn. 1622 of Capricorn. That's actually going to be on the, sorry about the pause, but that's going to be on the ascendant of Ukraine, which is at 1634. And that's happening early 2026, January 6th. And that would be a blessing for Ukraine, obviously. Let's see what the gods have got to say. What is the message from the gods? Just wanted to add up these cards as well. So we've got a 6 and a 7, that's 14, and a 1, that's 15, and 5, that's 16. 16, that's the Tower. The Tower is massive changes, sudden revelations, big changes. Let's see what the gods advise. We've got Persephone and Awakening. So we'll be reading that, and we know that Persephone, the daughter, I'll read you the mythology for those of you that don't know the mythology, because soon Persephone will be going into the underworld. And it's interesting that we had a few feminine archetypes here, figures, and we also see a goddess. So Persephone is the daughter of Demeter and Zeus. As a maiden, while picking flowers, Hades rode his chariot out from the underworld and kidnapped her, taking her to be his bride as queen of the underworld. Demeter spent years searching for her daughter, allowing all vegetation to die in her grief. Eventually, Zeus sent Hermes below to take Persephone back to her mother, but before she could leave, Hades tricked her into eating the seeds of the pomegranate, which forced her to spend a portion of the year with him in the underworld, thus giving us winter. Whenever Persephone returns to the underworld, the earth becomes cold and barren. Persephone may have been forced to become queen of the underworld, but it is a role that she took to very well. She is the caretaker of the dead and holds the wisdom of both worlds within her. So the message here tells us that Persephone represents the awakening that occurs when the mysteries of life open up to us. This phase of the cycle also occurs between the innocence of childhood and the realities of adulthood. Persephone's mother Demeter held onto her very tightly, and when the gods came to see her, Demeter hid her away, not allowing anyone to get to her. Nevertheless, Persephone was taken. The awakenings, realizations, and hard truths are impossible to escape. We all must take that inner journey. It can be a rude awakening at times, but it is an awakening nonetheless. You may have recently begun a new phase in your life and felt the wonder and excitement of this new beginning, but now the realities of this new cycle are making themselves known. This is a time for awakening. Things are becoming clearer, and that is not always easy, but it is empowering. What you held to be your reality has changed, and it may feel like a little like a loss of innocence, but it is important to understand that this awakening represents your growing awareness. Taking the inner journey into the underworld is a scary adventure, but it is time to face yourself, to confront your true nature and the nature of life and death. Persephone understood the nature of life and death. All vegetation lived and died in accordance with her journey in and out of the underworld. Through this awakening, childish notions and illusions disappear and true innocence is unraveled. The understanding of life and death and the ability to stand within it with an open heart, this is true innocence. Allow the mysteries of life to be revealed to you. Feel them, grieve if necessary, and then open your heart to the truth that comes so that you are able to move forward with a greater understanding of life and how to live and create in your world. Your eyes are opening now, and this gives you great power. Use it. So this is an awakening of humanity, my dear friends. And we will see that, yes, not everything that comes from the mainstream media is true and what's really going on. Sometimes leaders, world leaders, can pretend that they're enemies, and then they drink together. They go out for dinner and they have their meetings, and it's all like a game. It's a big business deal. So to me, it feels like the business deal will not be made at this time. That's the conclusion that I come to, because we had the death card. We just had Persephone, who's going into the underworld. We're coming into, very soon, we're coming into the equinox, where Persephone's journey will begin into the underworld. And when will Gaia and I should say Demeter, when will Demeter, the mother, start to create and give us the resources again? Not until spring of next year, the Aries season, the astrological new year. So I feel that a lot will be revealed, and of course humanity is still going through that metamorphosis and very challenging awakening. Remember that the North Node is never something easy that we can follow collectively, and that the first card that came out was South Node and life's debts. It seems like humanity owes something or other. It's like we feel a little bit lost with the void of course moon. A lot is missing, a lot that is unknown, and through all this journey is the awakening of humanity itself. Because what we need to awaken to is to understand that we take nothing with us, and that it's all about power, money, and control. And I think I will leave it there. I do think I will leave this reading there. We could have been reading for another half hour at least, but I feel it's time to surrender to the divine plan. Let's just try and make the best of everything. Let's pray that this is incorrect and that they can come to a peace deal. A win-win outcome is forecast full moon in Libra. That will happen in the Aries season next year, because that's karmically the story, the divine plan, my dear friends. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. It does help the channel a lot. Next week, the messenger and the twin flame soulmate reading will not be available because I will not be here. I'm going away for a bit. I'll be back as soon as I can, as I said, to get you some quick readings here or there, but I don't know when. So enjoy your holiday time. Let's all pray and let's keep our fingers crossed for peace, and I hope that we are wrong here. Let's hope that peace is possible, but there's always a but. Sending you all lots of love and lots of respect and lots of healing, and stay tuned. We're back here very soon with an open heart. Keep your heart open as well. And many people need to be forgiven and released from our lives. And, it's all the divine plan, my dear friends. So we're all going through that awakening. It may be a rude awakening, but it's taking us to where Spirit wants us. So love and light, everyone. We will be back.